Okay, so we are going to review predicate expanders because we have a quiz on Wednesday. Anything that's on here is going to be on my quiz. All right, so the first thing you have to know are the how starter words. There are 5 of them. Go ahead. So ly, with, without, like, and as. Which one can be a little tricky sometimes? Yes, as can be a little tricky because this can count as a how expander, but it can also count as a when expander. All right, so circle the ones that you didn't know. The second part says list 10 when starter words. However, there are certain ones that I want you to have memorized. Okay, so these are the ones you have to have memorized. During, when, before, and as. So those are the 4. So put an asterisk next to those ones. You have to have those ones memorized. So then you get to pick 6 other ones. So now this isn't hard because just say to yourself, what words tell me when? Okay, so you could have later. Actually, here, I want another one, after. That should be memorized too. Put a star against that. Later, soon, never, tomorrow. Give me another one. Yesterday.
Can they be like days of the week or months?
Yeah, but we know that. Okay, since. Actually, no. No. All right, so you have during, when, before, as, after. These are the ones you have to have memorized for the quiz. Then you're going to have to come up with 5 additional when predicate expanders. Any questions so far? All right. What are the 2 common rules when it comes to expanders? The first rule is you need a comma after 4 or more words in an expander. So check to make sure you have that. The second comma rule is you need comma after ly expander. Okay, now we know that that's the ly when it starts at the beginning of a sentence. You all understand that, right? Okay. All right. Write a sentence that starts with one of the how expanders. So I could say, go ahead. Hand up right here.
Okay. Without assuring my friend Mike, comma, he was terrified to scale the mountain.
Without a what?
Without assuring.
A Sherpa?
No. Without assuring.
Without assuring.
Without assuring him he was afraid.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know
That doesn't make sense, though.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right, so without assuring him it would be okay, comma, my friend scaled the mountain.
So my friend was terrified.
But why would you say he was terrified without assuring him?
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Without a doubt in her mind, Jen confidently put down the correct answer.
All right, without a doubt in her mind, comma, Jen confidently put down the correct answer.
Yes.
All right, you have to make sure on the quiz, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to give me a sentence that has an ly expander, a sentence that has a with, a sentence that has a without, and a sentence that has a like or as. You're going to have to pick. So you're going to have to create 4 sentences with a how expander, with each one of the how expanders. So you have to make sure you know how to do that. Now, you have to make sure that you punctuate it correctly. So, so he said, without a doubt in her mind, comma. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. But if I just said without a doubt, would I need a comma then? No. So you have to make sure that you punctuate it correctly. All right. Diagram at the following sentences. Give me the first actually, I'll just do it for you. With great passion and energy. So that right there, I'm putting a triangle. And you have to write down along the lines what kind of expander it is. So it's a how. All right, now I got to look to see. Remember, always do the expanders first. Get them out of the way. So check your answers. So then the other one I notice is when the teacher announced the day's homework. So that is kind of easy. It's telling me when because it actually starts with the word when. So I'm just going to go like this as best as I can. Now I'm going to ask myself, what did they do with great passion and announcing the day's homework? So I'm going to say it's disputed. That would be the predicate. Who or what disputed? Class. All right. Number 2, after the immigrants arrived to, oh, and I have to edit it. So with great passion and energy, what am I missing, everybody? A comma. So right here. So when I put in my comma, I'm going to put a comma, but I'm also going to circle. That's just the correct way to edit. After the immigrants arrived to America, they quickly and easily adapted to the new customs. So one expander I noticed right away is after the immigrants arrived to America. Right there. And that's telling me when. Make sure you write the when. Quickly is telling me how. Easily is telling me how. All right, so what did they do quickly? What did they do easily? And, when they arrived to America. So the predicate is adapted. And I'm going to say to myself, who were what adapted? The subject is they. All right, revise the structure of the sentence. Be sure to place commas in the correct location. So this is where we talked about where your sentence structure, for many of you, is not very good. It goes subject, predicate, subject, predicate. If you notice this one, it's subject and then the predicate. All right, so one way to revise it is I could put cleverly, start off with cleverly, comma, I don't know, cleverly and without. All right, cleverly, I assembled a plan without any problem to get out of doing my chores. So you have to make sure you ask yourself, is that the best sounding sentence? Does that work? Out of all the ways you can restructure it, does that one sound the best? So cleverly, I assembled a plan without any problem to get out of doing my chores. Put your thumbs up if you think it sounds okay. Put your thumbs down if you think it sounds a little awkward. I agree. I think I would not go with this. It sounds awkward because one of the things I taught you is you have to make sure that you have the predicate expander close to the predicate. All right? So another way, raise your hand, give me another way that does not sound awkward. Go ahead.
Without any problem, I cleverly assembled a plan to get out of doing my chores.
Yeah, so without any problem, I cleverly assembled a plan. I'm just going to put ... to get out of doing my chores. That sounds much better than the previous sentence. Okay? All right. So, for your quiz on Wednesday, you might want to take notes. I don't know. Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to know, you have to know all the ly starter words, which we just went over. The second thing you have to know the when starters, but there were 5 that I told you had to know. The 5 were during, so you might want to write this on the back, or I think you kind of have this there now. During, before, after, since, and when, right? Were those the ones I had you star? I keep doing that. I'm sorry. I keep doing that. All how starter words. right, so you got the when, the how. Were those the ones that I had you all star? Oh, sorry. Gosh, I'm terrible.
When, before, after, as.
Okay, before and as. Oh my gosh. I'm falling apart on this Monday morning. All right, so we have just during, before, after, when, as. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you have to know. And then you're going to have to give me 5 more. Okay? The third thing you're going to have to be able to do is to edit sentences for comma usage. All right? Now we're talking only expanders here. I'm not giving you any other comma rules except for expanders. You are going to have to diagram sentences. And you have to be careful. There could be 3 how expanders in one sentence. And then the last thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to revise sentences for sentence structure. All right, a couple ways you can study. Number 1, you can look at the OOPS sheet that we did all week long last week. All right? Number 2, remember that sheet we did at the very beginning? It was a really long OOPS sheet. If you go to my handout section, that sheet is on there. And a video of me showing the right answers on there. So one thing you can do is you can do the sheet, then watch the video to see what you're doing wrong. Okay? The next thing you do, there's a couple of other videos that I had recorded of lessons that we're doing on predicate expanders. You can watch those videos. All right, so this quiz is going to be on Wednesday. Any questions on this quiz? All right, excellent.